Hey guys, welcome back. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing my summer reading list, which I'm really excited about because summer is on its way. I can't wait, but I also love to read the most in the summertime. It's just the best to have my Kindle or a book, whatever you're into. I'm into my Kindle. To have that with me by the pool, at the beach, on vacation. Most of these I have heard are great books or they're by authors that I have known and loved. I'm even gonna share some that I read last summer that I would recommend to you guys for this year. They're just all the best beach reads, the best summery vibes, just like the aesthetics are on point. You guys will really love them. So if you guys are interested, please keep watching. If you guys are new to my channel, first of all, subscribe. But second of all, I do have a few reading based videos on here, so I'll link those below. I did a whole reading recap of all the books that I read in 2022. I think it was 25 books. So I'll link that below if you guys want to check it out. But for today, we're talking about books that I haven't read that are on my list and that I've been saving specifically for the summer season because I just think they're going to be perfect by the pool, at the beach, etc. like I've already said. So I'm gonna be reading from my Goodreads. That's where I have my reading list. I have a summer reading list shelf. And also, if you're new, you probably don't know, I read from my Kindle. I am a Kindle girly through and through. It's the best. I just have the basic Kindle Paperwhite and it has been amazing. I've had it for a few years now and I bought it for friends actually. I got it for my best friend's birthday last year. She's been loving hers. So it's a great gift and just also great to pick up for yourself. If you guys have some summer travel planned, you can throw it in your purse, read it on the plane, read it on your trips, you know, whatever you're doing. So I'll have that below. But let's start with my reading list. The first book that I just cannot wait to read, I read book 1 last summer and I've been just saving it for the next summer season, is the second book for The Summer I Turned Pretty. It's called It's Not Summer Without You by Jenny Han. If you guys did not watch the series last year, Summer I Turned Pretty, you need to watch it, but I'd also really recommend to you to read the book first. I think they are just going to do each season based on each book. I'm assuming they might drag it out a little bit more so that they have more than 3 seasons because there are 3 books. But for this year, I really want to read the second book because that's what season 2 is going to be about and that should be coming out soon. If you guys like romance, maybe a little coming of age, just the whole summer aesthetics, it's giving beach house, summer love, summer vacation, just honestly what I would love to be transported into in the summertime. It's the best. So make sure you read it. Second book is on my reading list as well as the third book. I haven't decided if I'm going to save that for next summer. That might be kind of crazy to, like, you know, spread these out over 3 years, but I honestly wouldn't mind it if, you know, I just read each book before each season. I don't know. We'll see. If I'm like really loving the second book and I want to jump into the third because I want to know what's going to happen, that's what I'll do. But the third book is called We'll Always Have Summer. The next book that I'm really excited to read is Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. And this is the second book by this author. Last year was her debut novel called Every Summer After. And that is so similar to The Summer I Turned Pretty. I feel like people don't talk about that enough. It's like nearly identical, but a little bit different because it's based in Canada. But you know, it's still like lake house vibes, love triangle, coming of age. It's really, really cute. And that one had just like impeccable setting as well. So definitely read that. That's a recommendation for you guys that I would 100% tell you guys you need to read this summer. It's a perfect beach read. If you're going on vacation, take it with you. It's great. But her second novel that just came out is called Meet Me at the Lake. And to be honest with you, I don't even know what it's about. I just know that I loved her first book so much and the title and the cover is just giving it to me. Like, this just looks like something I want to read by the pool this year and I will be doing that. So let me just read the description. Fern Brookbanks has wasted far too much of her adult life thinking about Will Baxter. She spent just 24 hours in her early 20s with an aggravatingly attractive, idealistic artist, a chance encounter that spiraled into a day-long adventure in Toronto. The timing was wrong, but their connection was undeniable. They share every secret, every dream, and made a pact to meet 1 year later. Fern showed up, Will didn't. At 32, Fern's life doesn't look at all how she imagined it would. Instead of living in the city, Fern's back home running her mother's Muskoka Lakeside Resort, something she vowed to never do. The place is in disarray, her ex-boyfriend's the manager, and Fern doesn't know where to begin. She needs a plan, a lifeline. To her surprise, it comes in the form of Will, who arrives 9 years too late with a suitcase in tow and an offer to help on his lips. Will may be the only person who understands what Fern's going through, but how could she possibly trust the suit-wearing mirage who seems nothing like the young man she met all those years ago? Will is hiding something, and Fern's not sure what it is, but 10 years ago, Will Baxter rescued Fern. Can she do the same for him? Love a lakeside resort romance. That sounds really nice, so I'm here for that. Seems a little bit more adult than the last book. What I liked about Every Summer After is it does go back and forth between when they're teenagers to when they are adults. So you kind of get the best of both, whereas The Summer I Turned Pretty is just really a coming of age story. So that's kind of where they differ. And Meet Me at the Lake sounds like more of an adult love story, maybe second chance at love love kind of trope. So we will see. I'm definitely gonna read it. The next book, let's see, which one should I share? Oh, I'm really, really excited to read this. This is Happy Place by Emily Henry. And again, I don't even know what this is about, but this is Emily Henry's newest release, and the cover is giving summer, so I'm here for it. And I just really love her. Last book that I read by her was the Book Lovers book, which was I think her previous release. She's been just like churning them out, and they're all really, really good and really cute. If you guys love just like romantic comedies, these are the books for you. They're so fabulous. Okay, the description's really long, but I'm seeing the words Maine cottage and salty coastal air. So I'm pretty much in, like that's all I needed to hear. It's sounding like a lovers to friends, maybe back to lovers kind of trope. You know, maybe again, second chance at love kind of thing. I don't know. But I'm in. I honestly don't need to read the description. I'm like, sold, done, you got me, you hooked me in. Just because it's Emily Henry. I honestly, I don't know if you guys do this too. I don't mind going into books blind. If someone recommends it to me and maybe just gives me a general idea, like it's a thriller, it's a mystery, I'm just like, okay, cool, I'll read it. You said it's good, I'll check it out. I don't need to like do research, read reviews, or you know, anything like that. I feel like those kind of skew my opinion most of the time. You know, if someone recommends it and says it's good, that's fine, but it's different when you like maybe read a bad review, and then that kind of affects the way you look at the book. You might be thinking like, should I feel that way too? So I just don't like to look at reviews. While we're on the topic of Emily Henry, there's a few books that I recommend to you guys to read this summer. The first one is called Beach Read, which like, hello, it's literally in the title. It's like an unlikely love, enemies to lovers kind of trope, I would say. The main character's a writer, and she's spending the summer or whatever season it is at a lake house trying to write her next book, and she meets another writer, and they kind of, you know, do their thing together. Who knows? Who knows? You gotta read it, you gotta check it out. And then Book Lovers by her that I just mentioned as well, I adore. That's by far my favorite book that I've read by Emily Henry so far. It's a similar kind of like small town romance kind of deal. Just check it out, just read it. I don't think you guys need to be sold any further. If you like romantic comedies, I'm sure you've read it, or you are just, you're willing to. So next book I actually haven't heard like anything about, but I love this author because I read another book by her and actually just watched a show based on the book. This book is called 800 Grapes by Laura Dave, and it's the same author as The Last Thing He Told Me. So if you guys haven't read that, that's a great like thriller mystery kind of book where it's not too scary, it's just a little bit more suspenseful. It's so good, so check that out. It's really amazing. And they actually just did an Apple TV Plus show based on the book starring Jennifer Gardner, and let me tell you, I've honestly never seen a better film adaptation from a book. Everything was so on point. I don't know if it was just the way that I personally pictured everything, but I just felt like my mind came to life on the show. The casting was on point, the setting was on point. It was extremely well done, and I watched it with my boyfriend and he liked it too. He didn't read the book obviously, but obviously, sorry, I don't know why I said it like that. But this book, I just recently saw like recommended to me on Goodreads, and I was like, oh wait, why haven't I looked into, you know, any more Laura Dave books? So this one is called 800 Grapes, like I mentioned, and I'm assuming it's a similar kind of like thriller, mystery, suspense-ish kind of book. Just a week before her wedding, 30-year-old Georgia discovers her beloved fiance has been keeping a secret so explosive it will be changing their lives forever. Georgia does what she's always done, returns to her family vineyard, expecting the comfort of her long married parents, her brothers, and everything familiar, but it turns out her fiance is not the only one who's been keeping a secret. So kind of similar vibes, you know, little mystery with the couple, and then more things unfold and more things come out, and who knows what that is. We're gonna find out. I'm definitely gonna read it because I think it sounds pretty good, and I like her writing style, so I'm gonna check it out. So that's on my list. Next one I actually just added yesterday, and to be honest, I don't even know what it's about. I just heard them talking about it on the Morning Toast. If you guys listen, if you're toasters, comment below. I listen every single day, and they were just talking about May Cobb, this author who also wrote The Hunting Wives, which I also just added to my list. I don't know if I'm gonna get to it this summer because I'm pretty stacked on my list, but I added this because summer is literally in the title. It's called My Summer Darlings, and I don't even know what it's about. They just were talking about it and they said that they loved May Cobb, so I was like, perfect. 3 lifelong friends plus a dangerous, sexy new stranger in town add up to a scorching summer of manipulation, obsession, and murder. I don't need to read anymore. I'm sold. We'll see. We're gonna find out. I will let you guys know how it is. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see updates, or honestly just follow me on Goodreads and you can see my rating and my review for each book. So I'll have that linked below, but that's on my list. We'll see. If you guys have read anything by May Cobb, let me know. I will probably check out The Hunting Wives at some point too, because they were talking about it on the toast and they said it was really good. Next up, this one was actually just recommended to me on Goodreads. It's called When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I'm honestly a sucker for these like cheesy rom-com covers. I just can tell by just looking at it that it's just going to be an easy read. What I'm getting from just kind of skimming this summary is that we have a very cheesy trope, but that's fine. I'll freaking read it. It's about a pop star who seems like she just like kind of goes to a small town to kind of rediscover herself and relax a little bit. And then she meets a small town baker. I mean, does that not sound like a Hallmark movie? It's just so like obvious, but like, I don't care. And I was also a little bit misled by the title because it says When in Rome. And on the cover, I thought they were making pasta. That was just like the effect of the title. I just looked at it and I thought they were making pasta. They're baking, so that makes sense. He's a small town baker. I thought they were making pasta in Rome, and like, you know, I thought they were in Italy. But it's Rome, Georgia, which I guess is a real place, a small town in Georgia. So that's what happens in that book. We'll see. If I get to it, I get to it, but I feel like I have other things on my list that I will probably read first. That might just be like a little, you know, amuse-bouche kind of thing. So we'll see. Next book I've had on my list for probably 2 years now. I need to read this book already. It's called Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. So I kind of skimmed the summary. It's just giving very much murder mystery, trapped on an island, whodunit, and I'm here for it. I guess it's like family secrets and all that stuff. Okay, next book is something that I actually think is going to be our next read for our book club because we currently have a vote going on right now for June, and this one is currently winning, so we'll see. It's called You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. It's the newest book by this author, and randomly I just read my first book by her last month, or actually this month. Sorry, we're still in May. It's the last day, but we are still in May. I read The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, and oh my gosh, I give it 5 stars. It was so good. I know I'm late because I feel like I would always see people post this book, and it was on my list. I always wanted to read it, but I just never, you know, I never did. So I decided to pick it up, and wow, I was shook. I've been recommended to people because if you like murder mysteries or like thrillers, it has a great twist, and it's just a really, really good story and like fun, entertaining writing. It's basically about a couple in this perfect marriage, as the title says, where the wife is a very successful criminal defense lawyer, like top of her game, and then her husband is a writer who's just been kind of like in a lull period for the last few years. He hasn't had any success on any recent books, and he just kind of had one thing that hit, and it's been kind of nothing since. So naturally his confidence is dwindling, and he's kind of having a hard time with his wife's success and just how busy she is. He has an affair, and then his mistress ends up dead in their lake house bed. That did not mean to rhyme, but it did. And since his wife is his lawyer, she has to represent him. So not only does she realize he's been having an affair, he's cheating on her, he might be a murderer, and she has to defend him because she's his lawyer. It is just like the most mind-blowing, crazy story. I really loved it. I think you guys will too if you like these kinds of books. Check it out. It was really good. For the other book that I'm going to read by her next, I don't really know what it's about fully, but I'm in because I love the last one. But it kind of seems like almost giving like cabin in the woods kind of vibes. The main character goes on vacation, stays at this Airbnb in the middle of nowhere by herself, and things start happening. Sounds spooky, sounds pretty good. We'll check it out. Another few books that I have been dying to read, I feel like they've been kind of like cult favorites for years. I would always see them like on the front shelf at Target and Barnes & Noble every single time I was there, and I was just always curious about them. I never checked them out. And they're both by the same author, Jennifer Weiner. The first one is Big Summer, and the second one is That Summer. Okay, here's a synopsis that I found online. It says, 6 years after the fight that ended their friendship, Daphne Berg is shocked when Drew Kavanaugh walks back into her life, looking as lovely and successful as ever, with a massive favor to ask. Daphne hasn't spoken one word to Drew in all this time. She doesn't even hate follow her ex-best friend on social media. So when Drew asks if she'll be her maid of honor at the society wedding of the summer, Daphne is rightfully speechless. Love the Cape Cod setting, love just like a little bit of scandal that's obviously involved. We'll see what I think about Big Summer, and if I really like the style of writing, maybe I'll continue. Let me know. If you guys have read either of them and you think I should read both, just let me know in the comments. Okay, this one I haven't heard a peep about. Again, this is what Goodreads recommended to me. I believe it was recommended with the When in Rome book that is the cheesy Hallmark trope. This one is called The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. Just basically the criteria to add something to my list for my reading list this season is it has to have the word summer in it. Or beach or lake or something like that. The setting is Martha's Vineyard in the summer. It's wedding week. Seems like some groomsmen, bridesmaid kind of love trope kind of thing. So I'm in. Sounds cute. You know, like again, I don't need to know too much about those kinds of books. It's like we get the idea. They're all kind of the same in their own way, and it's a comforting thing at this point. So I'll probably check that out. It sounds pretty cute. The next book was another Toast recommendation. I don't know if they talked about it on the Toast, but I know that their sister Margot talked about it. If you guys follow them, you know who I'm talking about. She recommended this book called To Love Jason Thorne by Ella Mays. And I guess it's a book 1 from a series. I don't know how many more books there are, but she just basically said it was a really cute romance, and that just has my name written all over it. The gist of it, it seems like it's a girl who falls in love with her brother's best friend. Sounds pretty cute. So, oh, another Goodreads recommendation, Better Than the Movies. This might have been the one I was thinking of that I thought sounded really cute when I read the description. And it looks like it's the first book out of a series. Don't know how many books there are, but it's Better Than the Movies, #1. This one, it again is a romance, like hello, it's better than the movies. Obviously you can gather that by the title. Okay, this sounds actually pretty cute, and it sounds like the plot of a lot of these like teenage movies. So basically this girl, she's young, she has a next door neighbor who's like her friend slash annoying neighbor that bugs her, but like I'm sure they're gonna fall in love, like hello, they always do. And 10 years later, it's their senior year, and her longtime crush, I guess, moves back into town, and he becomes really close with her neighbor that drives her insane. So now she kind of has to form an alliance with her annoying neighbor to get close to his new friend that she kind of has a thing for, and then I'm sure it just takes off from there. That sounds really cute and just better than the movies, dare I say. Just kidding. We'll see. It could be cheesy. The reviews are pretty good though. It's 4.3 on Goodreads, which is a great review. It has 159,000 reviews. Wow. Yeah, so Goodreads is honestly brutal with the reviews, same as Amazon. I don't even like to read them like I mentioned, or you know, even give them much weight, even with the stars. But you can kind of tell like when a book is really good. If it's close to 5, that means like it's probably a 5-star book, but we'll see. As for the rest of the books for this video, I just have a few that I wanted to mention that were recommendations from last year. I guess I just have 2 more. I've kind of been sharing my recommendations this whole time. But the first one, it might have been my favorite book from last year. I can't remember if I rated it in the #1 slot, but it was definitely a top 3. And that is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. If you guys need an escape to the Italian coast and you're not going, you don't have any plans to go, read this book. It will transport you there and just give you the best like fuzzy summer feeling. It's just fantastic and literally transports you to Positano, Italy. It's fabulous, and I love Rebecca Searle. She's a great writer. Her books are pretty snackable and short, so if you guys, you know, wanted to read something quicker, if you're just going on a weekend trip or something, I think this is under 300 pages, so pretty good. It also touches on a lot of really emotional topics as well, because it does deal with grief and loss, but it also kind of has this like rediscovery element, self-discovery, and I just think you guys need to read it. It's so fabulous, and a really emotional read for me as well, because the main character does lose her mom, and she kind of goes to Italy to where her mom spent a summer, and that she would always talk about her whole life, just this one summer that she spent in Italy. So her daughter goes to the same town to kind of try to channel her mom and connect with her one last time. It's like, I literally have chills talking about it. It's really, really good. The last book that I'll share for today actually is Every Last Secret by A.R. Torrey. It's another kind of fabulous mystery, living like, you know, high-end, rich, fabulous life, thriller, suspense kind of deal. If you guys have read The Last Miss Parrish or even The Perfect Marriage or any of these other like, you know, kind of like romance suspense books, I read that one in a matter of days because I just needed to know what was going to happen, so definitely check it out. It's really good. But that's it for my summer reading list. I really hope you guys enjoyed and got some inspiration. Maybe you added a few to your Goodreads list. If you don't have Goodreads and you're a reader, like you need one, you know, you can go rate your book. That's a release in of itself, but even writing a review, that for me has been like really cathartic after reading. I just feel like so many times I read a book, I don't have anywhere to take my emotions and my feelings. So writing a short little review after I finish a book has been really nice. It just kind of feels like one final check mark. I really love it, and I just love how you can set reading goals for yourself and have a shelf of books that you want to read. It's a nice way to keep everything organized and also just to go to when you're looking for your next book. So check them out. Check me out on there as well. That'll be linked below. And if you guys have any books you're wanting to read this summer, if you have any you want to recommend to me based on what you've seen in this video, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.